What is good, everyone? It is springtime, my favorite time of the year. The big female bass, the slaunches with that big, thick meat. They're moving up. They're moving shallow. We had a cold front come through this week that's probably stalling them, which is actually a good thing because it means that by the time I have time off work this weekend, they will be back bedding and it'll be warm again, and I'll be able to lay another hurting on them. But the last weekend was a good weekend. I caught some really big fish, caught my personal best bass. That is what this video is about. It's my personal best bass. I wouldn't devote the video to it unless it was, well, for one, it's interesting because I have a decent amount of footage in here of just me kind of working through the steps you have to go through. And I don't even show you steps because basically once you find a really big spawning female bass, there's a couple things that have to happen usually. Sometimes they're real aggressive and they'll just bite it very quickly once you pitch your bait in there. But most of the time, the aggressive bass is going to be the male bass. It's almost always the smaller of the two fish because the females are almost always bigger. And you have to catch the male bass first. So I had done that prior to the video being filmed. I caught the male, and he was like, I don't know, pound and a quarter. I should have been tipped off because he looked tiny in the water. And again, I thought this fish was like a 5 or a 6 when I was looking at her. I should have guessed after I caught the male that she was bigger than that, but whatever. It was a good surprise. Anyway, you usually have to catch the male for the female to become aggressive because she's usually tired from laying eggs, and that's exactly what was happening here. So as soon as I caught the male, it was good because I released him, and he came back to the bed, but he was very hook shy because obviously I just caught him, which is good because it means he was protecting the bed from bluegill and keeping the nest safe so I can fish for the female without endangering the nest. So, just feel good. At least that happened. That was nice. But anyway, I caught the male, and then you usually have to work the female for a while before she makes the mistake and she gets aggressive enough to where she actually hits the bait well enough to get the hook point into her. So that's what I spent the next probably hour and a half doing. There's a lot of footage that I didn't put on this video simply because you don't want to watch me, coax this fish over and over again into picking it up and dropping it, picking up and dropping it. And I did that over and over again until I finally, got the hook in her, landed her. I freaked out. I mean, just warning, major freak out. It was a huge fish. And I don't know if I was prepared to see the fish jump because whenever I first hooked that fish and it came up out of the water, the head on the thing was just bigger than anything I'd ever seen. It was amazing. It was unbelievable. And I just lost it. My mind was blown by how big this bass was. So for a guy who'd never caught anything bigger than like 6.5 pounds, it was just an eye-opening experience. It was a huge fish. And if it had the thick, girthy body that all the fish I had been catching had, like I say, it would have been a 12-pound fish. It would have been a very, very large. It was already very large. And if it had been built like the other ones I've been catching have been, it would have been probably in state record territory. It would have been gigantic. But yeah, hopefully you enjoy the video. It should be interesting. Hopefully you'll enjoy it and learn a little bit about how to catch spawning bass in the process. Again, it's my personal best, biggest fish ever. And I don't know, hopefully I can break it again sometime later this month.
Okay guys, I wasn't necessarily planning on filming at this pond I'm at. I don't know, here I'll show you. But the reason I'm fishing is because I saw a picture on an app from this pond of a 24-inch largemouth. I don't know if I found the same fish, but she is enormous. She's on a bed. She's already pecked at my jig a couple times. I've already caught the male off of the bed, which is good because that means the female is going to become more aggressive. So it's one of those things where I'm pretty confident I can at least hook this fish. She's in a really tough spot. I'm fishing literally over the top of bushes. You're not going to be able to see the fish really at all until I presumably land her, as long as I actually do end up doing that. But basically what I'm trying to do is these fish during the spawn, which is what's happening in some of these ponds now. The bigger lakes will come. They might even have started by now, but I think it's mostly the ponds because they've warmed up faster than the big lakes. This small pond is it's warm enough so the fish have moved up to spawn. So they move up in pairs usually. Usually there's one big female. She's almost always larger than the males. Usually there's one male, but there can be 2 or 3 sometimes depending on how big the female is. But what I'm using to catch these fish is just a little dark green jig. And so what that's designed to imitate is a bluegill. Now bluegill are always forage for the bass. Bass eat bluegill year round, but during this time of year especially, they really dislike bluegill because bluegill feed a lot on young bass and bass eggs. So this, whenever I pull this through the nest and I'm just barely shimmying it in there. I want it to be real slow because basically what that looks like is it looks like a bluegill nose down in the nest eating the eggs off the bottom of the nest. So as I do that, that's gonna fire that fish up. Like I said, this fish is huge. So if I can get this on film, it should be well worth the wait. So I'm gonna turn this off and start filming. Okay, so when I say this is a really difficult form of fishing, it is a really difficult form of fishing, and the cool part about this part is it's even more difficult than most bed fishing because I don't have a boat. I'm literally, you can see the bushes in front of me. I'm gonna have to land the fish through these bushes. She is huge. I mean, if she was thicker, I would say she would be probably at least 8 or 9 pounds. As it is, she's no smaller than 5. It's hard to tell how big fish like this are when they're in the water, but just looking at her, I mean, it looks like the longest fish for sure that I've ever caught. So I'm gonna just try to work this jig through here real slow. The thing I'm noticing is they definitely, the female and the male both, get a lot more aggressive when I pull it over the top of this log at the front of the nest, because that kind of makes it visible. Right now she's right on top of my line and I don't want her to feel my line. So I'm gonna let her move. And just kind of hop this jig through the nest just really slowly. It's very important that you're just really slow with this and you're very patient. Like I say, there's never a guarantee with bed fishing. Oh, she's coming in, she's coming in. I can't see her. I didn't get it in the sweet spot. I was too far to the left. See, that's the thing. The thing you got to do when you're bed fishing is you got to figure out where the fish are going to get most fired up when you pull it through the nest. Dadgummit, I threw it over a branch. This is so difficult. This is not even fair. Like, it's so unfair. Oh gosh, I got to hurry. The last thing I want to do is have this thing over a branch and have this freaking 6-pound fish hit this jig. I'm scared though. I'm pretty confident I can hook this fish, but again, we're in like such a terrible position that I just don't know what the odds of me actually landing this fish are. I just don't know, because again, she's right in front of a log. There's a log behind her. Now granted, she is spawning, which means she's not going to be quite as juiced up as she could be in terms of how strong she is, because she's a little bit tired, which is good. It means I can get her in faster, but at the same time, this is a big strong fish, and I'm not using ultra heavy gear that can just rip this fish through this heavy cover, so. Come on. She's moving in on it. Come on. Come on. This is just so unbelievably difficult. Oh gosh. Making these stupid casts way beyond the nest, reeling it in, and then just hoping you can kind of. She saw that. Come on, come on, she's turning on it. She keeps running at it. Dude, my heart is in my mouth. She keeps running at it. She doesn't grab it. Dang it, son. I wonder if I need a different trailer. That's always the trick I've found with bed fishing, is that if you have a subtle bait, that's usually good. But if it's too subtle, the fish, they're not going to commit to it. You have to literally anger these fish into hitting it. They're not feeding. They're just trying to get it out of the nest. So it's one of those things where it's like, maybe I can surprise her by pulling it over the top of this log. Let's see here. Come on. Can't tell if she's turning or not. Turning a little bit. Nosing on it, nosing on it. This is gonna take a while, but this fish, like I say, she's got it. Oh no, she just grabbed the tail. I just watched my bait come out with her mouth. We're making the right moves though, guys. We're getting her slowly a little bit more riled up. We'll hook this fish. It'll take a little time, but we'll hook this fish. I got a good feeling about this. She's aggressive, and I've already caught the male, and he's not interested. That's the thing. He's here, which is good because it means he's guarding the fry, but he's not interested in anything I'm throwing, which is good because I just caught him. So I don't want to catch him again. Let's see if I can just balance this on this log. I felt her hit it. Wow, dude, this is the most heart-stopping game of cat and mouse ever. It's so intense. And you can see, that's the nice thing about these little Booyah hooks, is you can see the hook's real nice light wire, stainless steel. So what it does is it allows you to get snagged and then bend the hook out, and you can bend it back and use it again. So, oh my goodness. That is just, it's so intense. I just can't even describe how intense that is. Oh, I thought I had her for a second, but she just thunked it. She did not have it. I don't bed fish very often because it only happens a little bit during the year, and I don't have a boat either, which makes it like doubly difficult, because if you don't have a boat, then it's hard to get around to like places where there is really good bed fishing. It's one of those deals where it's like, sometimes I have a hard time finding time to bed fish because, you know, I only get a couple, I fish a couple times a week, and, just kind of fish my ordinary spots, and if they're bedding, they're bedding, and if they're not, well, they're not. And then, after that, well, spawning season's done, come and gone. So last year I got more in than I used to, and so I got a little bit of the basics down, caught a couple decent fish up in West Virginia, but this is bigger than anything I caught last year during the spawn. This is a big fish. I mean, she's in there. I think this is the right combo. It's weird. Everyone says you need to use a bright white colored bait, or like just something you can see real good, just so you can see the fish eat it. That might be true, but that being said, I have not noticed that I've, I feel like I do better with these little green Booyah jigs. Maybe that's just me. I don't know, but we're gonna catch her yet. I'm so juiced up right now. This fish is huge, and she is starting to get kind of aggressive. And the bed fishing I did last year was in really murky water, so it was one of those things where like I had to feel the bite rather than see it. So I think it gives me a little bit of an advantage compared to some people who kind of, when they're bed fishing, they rely on being able to see that bait in the fish's mouth. That being said, can't really. She knows it's there. Come on, big girl. She keeps mouthing it and not getting it. She's got terrible vision. I wonder if she can't actually see it all that well. She's fired up though. She's nosing on it every time I throw it in there now though, which is really good, and definitely making a pass at it. I just don't know. I can't tell if she's, gosh darn it, look at the mouth on that thing. She's just got this gigantic, just this huge jaw. My word. What a fish. She does this, what she does is she sits in the bed for about 10-15 minutes, and then every little bit she'll circle around this big log. I'm gonna pull it over this log again like I did last time. I don't think she can see it all that good. The one time I know she actually had it in her mouth. Oh my gosh, dude, she had it. No, this is killing me. She grabbed the trailer. I saw it sticking out. Dang it, son. You're trying to stick this big largemouth. Where are you at? I know you're in here. Oh, she's right there. Holy cow. Man, she, for being a huge 20+ inch fish, she can hide really well. Doesn't help that I'm looking through bushes. That also is a detriment. She's right where she should be, though. If I can get her to... Come on. Oh, I rattled it out in front of her. Dadgum. And I threw it over a branch. Patience, patience. So let me give you a recap. Let's see. Since the first video, I switched over to a stand-up head. That didn't work. She didn't react to it nearly as well as the jig, so I switched back over to the jig. Since I switched back over, I've had her pick it up probably 5 or 6 times, and I've missed her every single time because she is a master at simply picking the bait up and just like by the trailer or just by the head and not getting the hook. She knows what she's about. She's doing a really good job. This is a battle of wills at this point. It's me versus this big spawning female, and hopefully I'll come out on top. I haven't even really gotten a hook in her, which is good because if I'd gotten her hook in her and lost her, there's no way I wouldn't have a chance at this point. So I can be thankful for that, but we got to catch her. We got to catch this fish. This has become personal. She doesn't know what kind of smoke she's gotten herself into, and yeah, she's gonna get all the smoke. She's nosing on it. She's nosing on it. Look at her right behind it. Whoa. Big, thick mama. She just nipped at it. That was hilarious. Just nipped at it. I wonder if a lizard would work better. I think I have some in my bag. I'm not sure. A creature bait might work as well. I don't know. What I do know is that the jig is worked in that it's fired her up and she doesn't want it in the nest. It hasn't worked in that, obviously. I haven't caught her yet, so. Dude, she did it again. Dang it. She is a maestro at that. She is really good. I wish I had a boat, because then I could do this from long distance and try a couple different stuff, but I just can't do all that much with her. With like, again, like with the spinning rod, I could probably use a drop shot and finesse fish her, which would probably work, and hook her, but I can't do that from here. Like, there's no way I'd land. Like, the odds of me landing this fish are already low enough without me using freaking 20 or 10 pound line. Now granted, I'm only using 15 pound coplamer, but that's much stronger than 20 pound braid. So, and keep in mind, I'm only using 12 pound coplamer leader on the other spinning rod. So this is the way to go for now. She doesn't want it. That was not very nice, ma'am. Turning me down like that. She's giving me the cold shoulder, guys. She likes me about as much as every other woman I've ever met in my life. You know what I'm saying? She's just hard to please, you know, enormously finicky, but man, so good looking. Come on. I got her. I got her. I got her. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh, that thing is enormous. Oh my gosh, dude. Look at the mouth on that thing. Holy cow, dude. She is enormous. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh my word. Dude, I can't believe I just caught this fish. Look at that. Oh my word. Dude, I can't even believe I'm holding this fish. Dude, look at this thing. Oh my gosh. Dude, I got her. I got her. Oh my gosh, I can't even hold her. She's so strong. Gosh, darn it, son. Look at the size of that fish. Oh, dude, we gotta get weight on this thing. Holy cow. Look at the size of that largemouth bass, guys. I can't get the whole thing in the camera, but look at that. She has got to be 7 or 8. There's no way she isn't. That thing is an absolute tank. She looked way smaller in the water. I said it was at least a 5. Dude, I'm freaking out right now. This thing is enormous. I can't even hold her. We got to get her in and out fast, though. I want to get some good pictures, though. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna get a weight first. We're gonna go down the side of the bank, get a picture with her real fast, and then we're gonna turn around and let her go where she was so she can keep spawning. But I think she's already spawned out. But my goodness, guys, that fish is gigantic. Definitely a personal best, and it's not even a question. I can't even believe I'm holding this fish. Okay, let's see here. Friends and family, that is a 9.68 pound largemouth. A 9.6, dude, the thing is huge. All right, we're gonna get her some water, and then we're gonna go get a proper picture. I gotta